Hello, I'm Susan Barrett, retired Nicholas County teacher. This is the next video we've been working on with building fluency for addition and subtraction up through 10. Today we're going to focus on different ways to make 10. We'll be using the addition chart as a reference once again. We looked at this the last time and we talked about adding 0, 1, and 2. All the facts that are shaded in green can be found by just adding 0, 1, or 2. Today, we're going to add a few new facts, and those are the ones with a sum of 10. I've marked them on the chart here. There are actually only 5 new facts to learn. And if you remember that changing the order of the add-ins when you're adding doesn't change the total, there are really only 3 new facts to learn. One of these is 5 plus 5, which many kids know long before they work on trying to master all the addition facts. So what makes these 10 facts so important? Our number system is called a base 10 system, meaning that numbers are made up of groups of tens and some leftover ones. Larger numbers have groups of hundreds and thousands and so on, but they're all based on groups of 10. While we're just focusing here on making one group of 10, the strategies will be very useful when kids start working with larger numbers. Knowing how to make 10 will help with learning the teen facts. And as you look at the chart, you can see most of the ones that are left to learn are the teen facts. I encourage you to spend enough time with these 10 facts so that they become automatic for your child. In other words, just knowing what the facts are without having to count it all. Time spent here will pay off later. You might begin by seeing which facts your child already knows. And a good place to start with that is probably your fingers. We've got a built-in 10 here. Start by asking your child what goes with a number to make 10, or maybe how much you would need to make 10. So if you say, if I give you 7, what do you need to make 10? And your child knows it's 3 right away, that's fantastic. Probably you don't need to spend too much time with the learning activities here, but the games are still fun to play and they reinforce the understanding. If your child doesn't know what you mean or has to count perhaps to figure out what goes with a number to get 10, then this is right where you need to be, going over these activities with your child to help them get that to the point where those combinations become automatic. One thing you can do is just write the numbers in a random order. And then just ask your child for each one, what goes with 1 to make 10? What goes with 8 to make 10? Just kind of a beginning assessment to see what they know already. So when you're ready to start with activities, a good place to start, as I said, is with your fingers. Ask your child to show you a number on his fingers and ask how many fingers are down. So if you say, for example, show me 7, and your child does this, how many fingers are down? So you have to turn and look to see that there are 3 down, or can he just tell you? When this becomes automatic, and your child seems to be pretty good at this, you can try moving the fingers up over your head, and that way you can't actually see them, you just have to remember them. So we're moving from very concrete, counting the fingers, to just thinking about it, which will get you toward automaticity. Another thing you can do is using the 10 frame. All right, we've looked at the 10 frame before. This is a really strong visual model for 10. If you're working on combinations of 10, you can put a number of pennies in the frame. Here we have 4 pennies in the frame, and it's easy to see that you need 6 more to make 10. If there's 1 penny in the frame, you need 9 to make 10. You can fill it in the usual way, going across the top row and then across the bottom row. Or you can put the pennies in there randomly for this activity and just visualize again. I've got 5 in, so there are 5 missing. Another tool that we've talked about before is the Reck and Rec. This is a great model for the facts of 10 because it's got 10 built in. Just like on fingers, you have 10 in a row. So you can show combinations like if 3 are on, 7 are off. And the color break here makes it easy to see that this is 7 without counting because you've got 5 and 2 more. The Reck and Rec also makes it easy to look at the patterns as you work on these combinations of 10. And I would encourage you to have your child say each one. So if I start this way, I've got 0 on and 10 off. So 0 plus 10 is 10. Slide 1 over. Now I have 1 on, 9 off. So 1 plus 9 is 10. Now I have 2 on and 8 off. So 2 plus 8 is 10. If you write these combinations down as you go, your child will probably notice a pattern with the written numbers as well as what he sees visually with the Reck and Rec. Again, we're building toward automaticity, a fancy word for just knowing the answer without having to count. Okay, let's look at some other simple things you can do. See, make sure I have 10 here. All right. So I can put my 10 pennies in a cup, shake them up, fill them out, and then put the tails together and the heads together. Let's see, and what do I have? Looks like this time I have 5 heads and 5 tails. So 5 and 5 is 10. You can play that game, write down the combinations if you like, but at least be sure to save the combinations. Another game that you can play with just a few simple materials is sometimes called Bears in a Cave. Sarah, you want to come on over? So Dr. Lee's going to play this game with me, and since we're focusing on 10, I'm going to have 10 pennies. And what we're going to do is put some of them in the cave. And Dr. Lee here will have to figure out how many are in the cave. What do you think?
Well, if there are 4 out of the cave and there are 10 altogether, there should be 6 in the cave.
So this reinforces the same thing we were doing with using your fingers up and fingers down and putting them over your head, because you can't see part of the number. Were you right?
I was right.
Excellent. So then you can take turns back and forth. That game again is called Bears in a Cave. You don't need much to do it, just 10 of anything and something to act as your cave to hide them. Okay. In another video, we looked at the game of bump. You're going to need 8 of whichever color you like. Okay, I'll get some of these green ones. And what we're going to do is take turns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go first. And we're going to use a regular die. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. I have rolled a 6.
Okay, what goes with 6 to make 10?
That would be 4.
So you can put a marker on 4. My turn. Oh, this is interesting. I got a 6 also. Since there's only one marker on here, I get to bump you right off. It's your turn.
5, and so I need a 5.
Why?
Because 5 and 5 is 10.
Right, so again, you want to make sure you're saying those combinations out loud. I've got a 4, so I get to cover a 6. Okay, and the game continues until one player uses up all their markers. If you get 2 markers of your color on a spot, then that spot is locked. You're safe, nobody can bump you off. Let's take a look at another version of this. I know you want to win, it's okay.
It's okay.
In this game, we've taken away the visual model, but it's played the same way. So if you roll a 2, you would cover the 8. So we're taking it from the very concrete to a more abstract representation. But again, every roll you want to say the combination. So if you have 2, how would it be?
2 plus 8 is 10.
Well done. And that's the game of bump. If you need materials to play this game, we'll give you that information at the end of our session today. Another game you can play that we have seen before in an earlier video is called Capture 4. And this is kind of like a bingo type game. You're trying to get 4 in a row. And again, we're going to practice with a 10 frame first. So if I roll a 5, I would get to cover a 5. And as I look around, I see that there's more than one 5, but I'm going to go with this one. Go ahead.
And 6, so 6 plus 4 is 10, so I need to find the 4.
Okay, and both of us can cover the free spot. And again, we're trying to get 4 in a row, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. There's another version of this game as well, just like with bump. This time we've taken away the visual model and we're just looking at the number combinations. So if I roll a 4, I can cover a 6 because 4 and 6 is 10.
And 2 plus 8 is 10. I'm going to get right there and block you.
I believe you are trying to block me, but I'll put my guy on the free space and see what else I can get. Oops. 6, and 6 and 4 is 10, so I think I'll go right here. The game continues until one player gets 4 in a row.
And I have 4 and 6 is 10.
Good job. So this game is called Capture 4, Make 10. And again, there are 2 different game boards available that we can share with you. Another game is called Difference to 10. You can put this game into one of these plastic sleeves, and then what you're going to do is roll the die, color in the amount that you roll, and then find the difference to 10. It's just another way of saying how many more do I need to make 10. So you roll, your partner rolls, and the person with the smallest difference wins. And then you can wipe it off and play again. That's called Difference to 10. One of my favorite games for reinforcing the facts of 10 is called 9 cards. Do you know that game?
I do not.
Well, I've taken a deck of cards, a regular deck, and I've removed the 10s and all the picture cards. So I have an ace, which will represent 1, and then all the other numbers up through 9. So you deal out 9 cards, hence the name, 9 cards. And what you're going to do when it's your turn is look for a combination of 2 cards that make 10. Do you see any numbers that would go together to make 10?
And I can only use 2 cards, correct?
Yes, that's a good question.
So I would say 7 plus 3 is 10.
Good job. You get to keep those. Do you see any more that go together?
I do. 6 and 4 makes 10.
Great. Any more?
Not with just 2 cards.
Okay, and the reason we're sticking with just 2 cards is because we want to reinforce those 2 number combinations that add to 10. All right, now it's my turn. I see 8 and 2 is 10. And I don't see anything else. So I'll fill in the empty spaces, and it's your turn.
9 and 1 is 10.
Good job. Any more?
Not with just 2 cards.
If you should get stuck, which does happen occasionally where you look at your 9 cards and there are no combinations to make 10, you just pick up one of the rows and replace it with 3 new cards. So I see 3 and 7 is 10. Again, I don't see anything else. If your partner does not see a combination, it's up to you if you want to help them or just go on and take that combination on your turn.
I see 5 plus 5 is 10.
Any more?
I don't see any more.
Okay, we'll fill in the holes. I've got 8 plus 2 is 10. and 9 plus 1 is 10. And that's all I see. Fill in the holes, always going back to 9 cards.
I see 7 plus 3 is 10. I see 6 and 4 is 10. And that's all I see.
Okay, fill in the holes again. I see 5 plus 5, 9 plus 1, 6 plus 4. Big turn for me.
You're on a roll.
And if I could take 3 cards, I'd have another one. Your turn.
I see 9 and 1 is 10. 8 and 2 is 10. 6 and 4 is 10. 7 and 3
Wow.
is 10. And I left you with a 2.
Thanks. I'll bet you can guess what my 1 card left is.
Should be an 8.
It is. 8 and 2 is 10. So I get the last pair. So whoever has the most pairs at the end of the game is the winner. And the reason why we only do those combinations of 2 cards, again, is so we're reinforcing 7 and 3, 6 and 4, 2 and 8, etc. Plus, it makes all the cards come out, even if there are no mistakes. I believe you are the winner.
I have 10.
Wow. I have 8. You win. So that game is called not Go 10, it's called 9 Cards. There is a game, one more game I have for you, I believe, and it's called Go 10, and it's played like Go Fish. Do you know how to play Go Fish?
I do know how to play Go Fish.
Okay. So you can start out with just 5 cards if you like, or 7 cards, whichever way you want to play. And what you're going to do, instead of asking for a card that you have in your hand to make a match, you're going to ask for a card that you need to make 10. So we'll play with 5 cards. And we'll leave the deck down here in case we need it. First thing I want to check is, do I have anything that makes a 10? I do. I have an 8 and a 2. Do you have any 10s?
I do not have anything
All
that
right.
makes it.
Well, you can go first. So what you want to do is ask me for a card that would help you make a 10.
Do you have a 9?
No, I do not have a 9. So go fish or go 10 if you wish.
Got my wish.
Ooh, okay. You can go again then. Put down your pair.
9 and 1 is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a 2?
I do. You must have an 8.
I do. 8 and 2 is 10.
8 and 2 is 10. Good. Okay. You're still going.
I'm still going. Do you have a 3?
No, I do not.
Oh.
Go 10.
Now, I did not get what I asked for, but I got something that makes me a 10. Do I
You
go
can
ahead and
still
lay
lay
it down?
it down. Mm-hmm.
1 plus 9 is 10.
Good job. Do you have a 5?
I do not. Go fish.
Okay. I did not get a 5 is what I was hoping for. Your turn.
Do you have a 4?
No, I do not. Go fish.
No 4 for me.
Do you have a 9?
I just drew it.
Cool. So I have an ace, so 9 and 1 is 10. So play continues like this until one player runs out of cards. And again, the winner is the person with the most pairs. But really, the winner is the child who knows all the ways to make 10. So that one is called Go Fish or Go 10. And I believe that's all we have, except for, and I did not bring flashcards, but if you have flashcards at home, something that you can do other than just going through and saying the answers is have your child look at the problems and find all the ones that have a sum of 10. That's kind of reinforcing 3 and 7 will go in the pile, 3 and 6 will not go in the pile. So that's the last thing in this video for ways to make 10. Remind you, if you need any of these materials, just send an email to Dr. Lee, my partner in crime here. Her email address is slee, L-E-E, @k12.wv.us. Have fun.